Hello guys and welcome back to the channel once again. So today's video topic is on Taiwan's deterrence against China. So a lot of you guys were asking about Taiwan's and what it's I mean to say what China is doing in Taiwan. It's really an analytical thing to analyze. So let's begin about what Taiwan is using against China as its deterrence. So, welcome back, and this is the core executive summary on Taiwan's deterrence against China. So, let's begin. So, the core thesis about Taiwan's national security strategy is built on a fundamental reality that, it cannot touch China's military power in a conventional war. Instead, the Taiwan's objective is to make any attempt at invasion so costly, prolonged, and uncertain that Beijing concludes the military action and is not worth it politically, economically, and militarily. And this approach is often described as the porcupine strategy, which combines of asymmetric defense and a resilient infrastructure, international partnership, economic significance, and societal preparedness to strengthen the deterrence. So Taiwan's security, therefore, not only depends on armed forces but also on geography, technology, and alliance, like the border strategy calculation of China and the United States. So here I have some of the key judgments. So China possesses significant conventional military advantage in terms of personnel, naval assets, missile forces, and air power. And secondly, Taiwan's deterrence strategy focuses on raising expected costs and risk of coercion or invasion rather than seeking military parity. So third assessment, which has medium confidence I do have on it, it is that the principal deterrent is not any single weapon system but also a interaction of Taiwan's geography, asymmetrical defense posture, economic importance, and the potential for international involvement. The thing which I have medium confidence is the greatest risk, strategic risk, which lies not only on amphibious invasion but also in gray zone pressure, a cyber operation, economic coercion, or blockage designed to achieve political objective without triggering a major war. So let's look into the Taiwan's geography. I want you to open the maps and see it. So Taiwan lies roughly about 130 to 180 kilometers, about 80 to 110 miles from mainland China, across the Taiwan Strait. Okay, so to many observers that appears close, but for military planners, the distance represents major operational challenge. This is like an amphibious invasion require moving large number of troops, vehicle, ammunition, fuels, and supplies across open water while under observation and potential attack. So unlike land campaigns, every phase of such operation depends on maintenance, secure maritime and air control. So Taiwan has some of the geographical advantage, like Taiwan's terrain favors defense. A steep mountain covers much of its island, and suitable landing beaches are limited. So the dense urban areas complicate offensive operations, and the typhoons and seasonal weather affects military planning. So the geography alone does not guarantee any security, but it significantly increases the complexity of any invasion. Okay. So nextly, why China wants Taiwan? So let's understand it. Understanding Taiwan's deterrence requires understanding firstly Beijing's objective. So let's move forward. China's stated position is that Taiwan is part of China. Okay, and the eventual reunification is a core national objective. So from Beijing's perspective, Taiwan has several strategic dimensions. One is national sovereignty and territorial integrity. Secondly, political legitimacy for the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP. And thirdly, control of the first land China. So to improve access to the Western Pacific, okay. and reduced ability of external power to constrain China's maritime activities. And for that, Taiwan therefore represents both of the political and strategic issues. And nextly, Taiwan's deterrence strategy. So that Taiwan recognizes it cannot compete ship for ship and or aircraft for aircraft with People's Liberation Army PLA. So instead, it aims like to make an attack prohibitively costly. And this strategy rests on several pillars, which is like asymmetrical defense. So rather than emphasizing expensive large platforms, Taiwan increasingly invests in mobile anti-ship missiles, the coastal defense system, naval mines, and mobile air defense systems, and also the unmanned aerial systems. So long-range precision fires. The objective is to disrupt an invasion fleet before it reaches the shore. So the damage it tends to reduce the damage and increase the cost. And secondly, its porcupine strategy. So, like a porcupine, many of you might know the porcupine is Taiwan cannot overpower a predator, but can make attacking painful. Okay, just like when attacked the porcupine, it don't have the power to defend from the predator, but it has the power to make the attack painful for the predator. So the concept emphasizes like survivability, dispersion, mobility, reductance, resilience. The goal is to deny China's a rapid or low-cost victory. And nextly, the civil defense. Taiwan has expanded effort to improve like reserve mobilization, civil preparedness, infrastructure resilience, emergency response, continuity of government. This measure seeks like to ensure the island can continue functioning during the crisis, as Taiwan very early knew that if they got weakened, even for a bit, the China would attack for sure. And just note down my words that China is currently working very heavily to somehow go to Taiwan and somehow make an influence there or set up a puppet in Taiwan. So even though like not direct what you say not direct control, but like the puppet war, like the puppet influence. So, and China has done it many times. Like they have set it up uh, their puppet into the Nepal, as you might see the PM Oli, who was there. The PM Oli, who was the what you say PM of Nepal, he was being compromised by the Chinese government and Chinese intelligence. The We will talk in the next video about how is Nepal's PM only was compromised and how the real civil war happened in Nepal. As we might know, few days earlier, there was a civil war in Nepal. And also, I see, mark my words, that Trump is also been compromised and by the China, either by the China or either by the Russia. So we would come back on that video soon. So for this, let's focus back onto the Taiwan and China. So nextly, moving forward, the Taiwan Strait, a natural defensive barrier. The Taiwan Strait is not merely a body of water, but it is also the first obstacle any invading force must overcome. Like a successful amphibious campaign would require separation of Taiwanese defenses, protection of transport vessel, air superiority, maritime superiority, and sustained logistic after landing. So each stage presents opportunities for defenders to impose cost. So few of the international deterrence, as we all know, Taiwan's deterrence also depends on some of the border strategic environment US did. While US policies characterized Characterized by strategic ambiguity, Washington provides Taiwan with defensive arm and emphasizes the importance of peace and stability in the Taiwan state. Basically, US don't want China to capture or make influence in Taiwan. Nextly, Japan. Japan views stability in Taiwan state as closely as linked to its own security, particularly regarding by sea lanes and Ryukyu Islands. So, why Japan protects this was very core reason. As you know, if China sometime manages to get influence and access to Taiwan, it can very easily block uh, the shipment and the logistic areas, and it will get influence on the sea in which the Japan's logistics has been made. So it can affect Japan heavily. And some of the regional partners, as we see, like some of the regional actors monitor development because disruption in Taiwan state could affect trade, shipping, energy flow, and regional security. So next thing is the semiconductor factor. So the Taiwan is home for two leading semiconductor manufacturing capacity. So the disruption to production could have significant global effect across industries such as consumer electrics, automatic, automotive manufacturing, telecommunication, and artificial intelligence, defense systems, etc. So, military assessment, as we all know, China's strength is having large missile inventory, expanding navy, advanced air defense, integrated command structure, growing amphibious capabilities, artificial intelligence defenses, while the Taiwan's strength lies in the defensive geography, asymmetric weapons, as the procurement strategy, as we discussed, high quality professional forces, advanced surveillance, increasing reserve reforms. Taiwan's long term ability to sustain resistance would depend on maintaining logistics, protecting critical infrastructure, and preserving access to the external support. So let's move forward on the final assessment. Let's conclude the video. So Taiwan's deterrence strategy is fundamentally about shaping Beijing's cost benefits calculation rather than attempting to equal China's military strength. So Taiwan seeks convenience Chinese decision maker that the political, military, and economic cost of using force would overweight any potential gain. So some of the major implications are like a major crisis in Taiwan's trade would likely affect global semiconductor supply chain, maritime trade through Asia, East Asia, shipping, insurance and freight cost, equity and currency market, technology, automotive and electronic industry. So, like key risks are miscalculation during military exercise, escalation from gray zone activities, cyber attacks on critical infrastructure, maritime blockade scenarios, and rapid deterioration in political dialogues. So, I would make a specific video on what China wants from Taiwan and what it is, what it has done before to get influence in Taiwan, and what are its future strategies, and what could be the future scenarios. Because as we all know, as you might don't know, that China requires Taiwan very heavily, and it is like making some of the moves that are going unnoticed by the global media. So I might try to make a video on that further. For this video, thank you, and I conclude this video. I hope you like this video, and if you do, please drop a comment and have a like this video. So let's meet in next video. And if you want video on the topic like how Trump is been compromised, or how PM Oli has been compromised, and how it led to the downfall of Nepal, I might made the I would make the video in next few days. So please let me know in the comments. For this, thank you and bye.